Welcome back. This is chapter 12 of our SQL course. In the previous chapter, we learned different uses of the case statement. In this chapter, we will learn about SQL functions. So let's start and look at the arithmetic functions first. Execute that. So we got 20 rows in this table. In this table, we have first name or forename, surname, salary of the staff and the staff ID, and the first column is their role, whether the person is a doctor, nurse, radiographer, or is a technician. So what if we want to know what is the lowest salary we are paying to our staff? We can do so with the help of this code. Start, select from, copy there, paste it here, and the column we are looking at is salary. So if we just simply run that, so that's the list of all the salaries. But if we want to look at the lowest salary we're paying, we are going to use min function. It is called minimum, but as a short it's called min function. So we give an alias, lowest salary, okay. So if we run this, so that's the lowest salary we are paying to our staff members. Similarly, we can find out the highest salary. So what we need to do, simply copy that code, paste it again. Instead of min, the other function we are going to use it called max. Max is for maximum, and then we can change it to say highest salary. Highest salary. Right, so this is the highest salary we're paying to our staff. Let's try another function. What if we want to know how much salary all the staff is getting paid in total? If you want to know that, copy the code again, paste it here. On this occasion, we will not use max, we will use sum. So we are summing. So we can call this total salary. And when we run this code, that's how much we are paying our staff in total. Right, next, if we are interested in the total number of nurses working in the organization, how we can find that out? Copy that code, paste it here, and then instead of sum, we are going to use the function called count. So we are counting the number of rows. And then here, this is not a salary, this is nurses count, we can say. So, but here, if we just run that, it will count all the rows from the table. But what we are interested in, only in the role where the role is nurse. So that's our column role. We are going to use where clause, where the role is a nurse. So if we run it now, it will show there are 5 nurses. If we change this to a doctor, it will change accordingly. So there are 5 nurses and 5 doctors. We can undo that and back to where we were before. Right, in case we need to find out the total number of radiographers and how much they are getting paid. So on this occasion, we are going to use 2 different functions. We just copy this code again, paste it here, and then we are going to count. Okay, just change this one to sum. So we are summing this number, and then we can say this is radiographers salary, okay, and then we need one more thing, put comma there, and then in here we are going to do count, and then rather than counting the column salary, let's count on staff ID instead. Staff ID as radiographers count. So the total number of radiographers count. Okay, so we need to change our where clause, and in here we need to provide the role we are looking for. So that's radiographer. Right, okay, so if we run this now, the first function is counting the number of rows in our table based on where clause. So this works as a filter where the role is radiographer. So there are 5 radiographers in our table, and how much they are getting paid in total? They are getting paid 375,000. So that's the sum of the total salary. So in this code we have looked at 2 different things, count and sum, at the same time. Right, so let's move on. If we don't use the where clause, it will count all the rows in this table with the sum of the salary. Okay, let's try that. If we just copy that part, only highlight that, copy and paste. If we just run that, so there are 20, although we are calling radiographers, but they are not really radiographers. We can say staff, so all the staff in our staff table, so that's staff count, and also change that to staff and run that again. So the first function count shows 20 rows in our table, and that's 1.5 million total staff salary getting paid. Right, now we will calculate the average salary we are paying to our staff. Average salary, so just copy that. We haven't used average before, so on this occasion just get rid of the first row there, delete the comma, and then we are going to use the function called AVG, which is short name for average, and then we can say average salary. Okay, right, so just run that. So that's how much, that's 75,000, which is the average salary our staff is getting paid. Another way we can calculate the average. So to do that, if you want to do manually, don't want to use the function, copy and paste the code again. On this occasion, we are going to use the function called sum, and then we are going to count the number of rows. How many are there? SA, that's the one, salary. Okay, so we are summing the salary, then we are going to divide with the count of the salary. So that will be the average salary. So if we run that again, you'd see it's the same figure. If we run both of them at the same time, as you can see, that's 75,000 is the average. Right. The next thing we will look at is how to round the figures. For that, we need the value in decimal. Let's create a table with the decimal value. I've already got the code written here. I'm going to use that decimal there. So if you want to learn how to create a table, you can watch our video. That's chapter 6 of this course. First of all, that's the name of our database, create table. This is the name of the table. These are 2 columns, and then we are going to insert these values. If we just execute that, it has created the table with 13 rows. Just close this down and if we refresh our tables, that's our dim decimal table. So let's start with the new query. Use clinical system, and we are going to select all the rows from this table. We can write select from dot. If we can just drag and drop, or we can type the name dot. So it's called dim decimals there, right? Okay, so if we run that, so we have 13 rows in our table. The first one, num, is a numeric value like an integer, and the other one is a decimal, with some of them with 3 decimal places, 1 decimal, and there are like some values in negative. Okay, so we are going to learn some different mathematical functions using this table. So let's make start. Select both the columns, and then next one is amount, A-M-O-U-N-T, amount, and then just copy and paste the name of the table. There. So if we run that now again, so same result, right? Okay, the first one is called ceiling, like ceiling in a room, ceiling. And for this function we are going to use amount, small t, amount column, and we give an alias so we know what we have done in here. It's called ceiling, right? Okay, the next function, okay, I think it's better if we just copy that, that'll be easier, save some time. And the next function we're going to use it called floor, F-L-O-O-R, floor, and then we put a here floor as well, floor, and then paste again. So this time we are going to calculate square root. So for that it's called SQRT. Let's use this column instead of amount. It's there. So it's called SQUAREROOT, square root. Right. Okay. Other functions are square root and power. But power would need 2 arguments, so we have already given the name of the column. Then we are going to tell like power of 2, power of 3. So let's say 3, and then this is called power. Next one is copy again, and it's called square. So if we want to find the square value, SQUARE, it doesn't need that, and we can call it square, this one, SQUARE. Right, okay, so if we run this code, this is the column we already had, num and amount. So this is the first one is ceiling. Ceiling rounds up the number, not down, up. So any decimal places it will round up. From 1.5 it changed to 2, and similarly 0.255 it made it 1. The second one is called floor. Floor rounds down the number. As you can see, it was 1.5, it rounded down to 1. and 0.255 rounded down to 0. Similarly, the next one is 4. The next is square root. Square root calculates the square root of the number. And then next is power. Power calculates the power to the number provided. So we provided number 3. 8. Let's do a power on integer. That will be a bit easier to understand. Put num there instead of amount. So if we are going to do it again, so power, yeah, as you can see, so 2 power 3 is 8 and 3 is 27, 4 becomes 64 and so on. Right, so the last one is just squares the number. So we use amount column, and it whereas square function calculates the square of the value, as you can see on these numbers. For example, 0.5 become 5 times 5 is 25, so 0.5 became 0.25. So that's how it calculates all those values. Thanks for watching this video. In the next video, we will cover string functions.